Why, Jeff Bezos? Why do you have to do this to us? Am I the only one who thinks all these movie studios could easily get away with putting all this woke stuff in their movies as long as they were a little less stupid about it? I swear, every time they make some inexplicable change and then just deflect any and all criticism with the line, "You're just racist if you think Snow White ought to be white." I honestly don't care. You can do whatever you want, but you have to make it make sense. Now, at this point, some of the changes are so nonsensical they have to have been made on purpose. Enter the Rings of Power, Amazon's latest attempt to butcher Tolkien's legendarium. Where to begin? Let's start small. This is Durin the Fourth, except at this point in time it's supposed to be Durin the Third. Whatever, close enough. But what the hell is this? The half-elf Elrond is a politically ambitious young leader? First of all, by this point, Elrond is still thousands of years old and should look basically like he did in the films. And politically ambitious? You're telling me the wise Lord Elrond, who tells Isildur to destroy the Ring of Power and who later on ends up in the last homely house east of the sea, has ambitions? The same guy who urges Thorin Oakenshield not to embark on his quest to reclaim Erebor has ambitions? For what? And here's a lady elf warrior. Okay, I guess every adaptation needs an Éowyn or a Tario. So, who is this character? Galadriel? Angry and brash as she is clever? This looks like motion capture CGI. Why do we need to make Galadriel an action girl who doesn't look at explosions? Have you not seen the films in which she's so powerful she doesn't need armor? And it's not like she's about domination and physical strength either. It's more like her power can't just be contained within her physical body, which is why you see her stumble afterward. So now we have action girl Mary Sue, who is good at everything. But wait, it gets worse. What the hell? Why? Have you not read the one wiki to rule them all? Long hair? Fair skin? I have nothing against black elves in concept. There's a hilarious webcomic on Webtoons called Elfin Warrior, and all of those elves have dark skin. In that fantasy world, a light-skinned elf would make no sense. If you want racial diversity, you can utilize some of the people of color who already exist within the Legendarium. I would watch a show about the Haradrim who are like Africans riding giant elephants. The Easterlings could be represented by Arabs and Asians. And it's not like there aren't any adaptational changes you could use for more inclusion. All the colored people in the War of the Ring took Sauron's side and they were considered swarthy men. Maybe you could create a social commentary using events that happened after the War of the Ring, exploring the conflict between the cultures because of their betrayal. But no, we're just gonna have an inexplicably black elf and nothing more will be said of the matter. And then there's this. I refuse to believe this is a dwarf. This is not a dwarf. In the Legendarium, female dwarves look so much like male dwarves that people can't tell the difference. You want woke? I'll give you woke. Have a bearded hunk of muscle walk down the halls of Khazad-dûm and claim its throne, and everybody calls the dwarf she, her. You can simultaneously make a commentary on non-passing trans people while actually having something that makes sense within the context of the universe. Or you can cast a real woman who naturally has facial hair. Those exist. Don't settle for tokenism. Do something actually representative. See, this is why I think the showrunners don't actually know what diversity is for. Instead of actual commentary, they just sprinkle a bunch of different colors as if it's on a cupcake. They want to be able to dismiss anybody who objects by calling them racist, and if the media firestorm generates more profit, even better. I think this statement perfectly illustrates their stupidity. Lindsay Weber says it felt only natural to us that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect what the world actually looks like. Tolkien is for everyone. First of all, this section of Middle-earth is clearly based on medieval Europe. Before imperialism and the slave trade, there would be basically no people of color. It's not like you made much of an effort to incorporate characteristics of African culture into the designs of the black characters. You just transplanted non-white people into a white setting. His stories are about his fictional races doing their best work when they leave the isolation of their own cultures and come together. The problem is, Tolkien's works are already multicultural. The dwarves are clearly inspired partly by Nordic language and design, and partly by Jews for their association with gold and their exile from their homes of Moria and Erebor. The only reason you think dwarves needed black skin on top of that is you think white people don't have different cultures. If you think Tolkien isn't for everyone unless every audience member has a person of their own skin color they can empathize with, that's on you. I could empathize with Treebeard just fine, and he's a tree. I wipe my ass with the remains of his fallen cousins, but I still appreciate the forest, you know? I'm just asking that once you finish using the source material as your toilet paper, you appreciate where it all came from.
I'm and I approve this message.